them early on. I want to know what's going on because we haven't seen them after like the final 2 zones. Like, where is this trio? Where'd they go?
That's true. Where'd they go? Where's Jukies, right? What are they doing? Well, we're going to start off with our game for winner, FIFA Kill. A big fan favorite out there and just really a staple when it comes to Warzone competitive. He is just such a dominant player. That skin, by the way, he's using, hard to see on the battlefield, man. It is an incredible skin that I think I actually might not even pay to say that, but I think I might have to actually pick that up. Who's transfer though?
Oh,
look, we got 2 of them here. I mean, seriously, you blend in with everything.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to see is Black Noir running at you. That's terrifying, trust me. But yeah, when it blends in and it gets more difficult, there's always a skin or two that's like, oh yeah, that's going to be a meta one to go to for sure. But you know, in these instances, it really comes down to, again, the last push here with how important the momentum swung back for FIFA Kill and company, the mid game, how crucial it was for a lot of our top trios. Now comes the interesting part of the broadcast where we can talk about just pressure that's applied to every other trio. If you're a team like Biffle, putting 10 kills on the board, even if you're not winning, is points that other people have to work through.
Big shots coming out from Noobs. He managed to at least hit a couple of snipers and then pulls out the deagle and essentially gets at least 1 hit, but it wasn't enough. And in the meantime, though, he's going to go ahead and take it. Actually gets pushed. I wasn't expecting that, but he absolutely was. That was Brax he takes down, a very, very talented player. So already, blood has been shed, and Noobs is not looking to back down.
Well, we have a sniper in the hands of Noobs, and again, you get 1 per team.
Oh,
he can elect to drop it if he wants. You get 2 tags. You get 3.
I just fucking...
I was thinking maybe he might be able to pull the pilot out, but doesn't look like it. There goes Almond, and Tommy will drop.
Right. Tommy's down. He'll be back very quickly, though, and Almond's going to be just to the left. If I'm the team on the inside, you don't have many exit points because you've got Almond on the left, you've got Noobs looking down. They're going to try and pincer in this team, but they're doing it very slowly. There's no reason to rush off the rip, especially whenever you're still waiting for Tommy to get back in. But Almond spots somebody, ends up dropping, and this is where Noob starts to shine. He drops down, picks up another one, and that's Empathy. So another big battle. So he's already got 2 big kills. I believe 1 on Biffle, 1 on Empathy. That's 2 players down. Or it should be Brax, not Biffle. And another one's going to be coming into play. The risk you run when you drop down is you know the other team, whenever they respawn, they're going to be coming back to fight you again. And now you got the low ground, and you've got to work your way up.
Yeah, absolutely. And the more you take these fights, the less of an opportunity you have to maybe rotate out the loadout drop. You want to get fully kitted early. That's always the play. But if you're getting more pressure from other squads, you're going to have to be ready to take these gunfights, and Noobs absolutely is. Gets Brax twice. You read Chow, you better not miss. And Noobs punishes him twice.
I thought whenever he was shooting the ground a little bit because the recoil, I thought he lost that fight, but he manages to win it. Noobs is absolutely on fire. 3 eliminations to start off. The stadium run seems to be a positive one, and this is where we saw in-game in game number 4, right, where FIFA Kill managed to get the win. And this very building, I believe, is very close to where we saw Breadman and Joewo and them. But Noobs is finally going to fall. Empathy comes back for revenge and takes him down.
And Intex will clean up 1. So again, we split some of our resources on the opposite side, and more rooftops being more pressure. E-baits will fall. Lula will as well. Lula, of course, won that game 1 last week and stayed in that first place spot for a couple of games before the rise of other teammates in squads. Biffle specifically kind of overtook that spot. But in this moment, we'll see what Intex and company can do from this spot. Shaw and Jay still up. I believe low on plates, but alive in the play. Working off the rooftop.
Working off the rooftop. Flanked. Smixy attract. Man, 18th place last game, Space. That was the lowest placing we have seen them get, and that was such a slow game. We literally had 18 teams going into where respawns were disabled. We have not seen that yet. And Smixy was that 18th team to be eliminated, already running into troubles once again. Flanked is going to drop. Attract, though, is going to drop Indo. So that's going to be Attract as well as Smixy up. We go back to Intex, Sean J, and Co., who are going for the loadout drop. Intex is going to stay back just in case something goes awry on the loadout.
Well, if you're Smixy and company, you cannot afford to have a top 16 finish here in this game.
No.
If you drop out that early, I do not see a way where you're going to break into maybe the top 5. Like, with the amount of kills and eliminations people are putting on the board, with the placements they're playing for, that's a mountain you probably won't be able to climb. Are they able to do it? Absolutely, but it's going to be a nearly impossible task. So they have to be playing for placements in this game. Even if they only get 2-3 elims, focus on the late game. For a lot of our teams here, especially when you're competing against the likes of Sage, the likes of Biffle, they're going to put 10-15 elims consistently on you. You have to be able to respond with the multiplier.
Biffle on your screen. He got a couple of tags and a player up ahead. Sage is also going to try and fly and dive straight into a player if he can. Down low, Biffle spots him. Good tracking. And I'm sure he was able to get that down. We go to Shifty's perspective, masterfully going on the roof. As soon as I say, well, still finds his way on the rooftop. Well done. He is a master, like I was saying anyways. I should have just finished the point. Shifty will join Biffle. And like I said, I think Biffle did pick up that Elam earlier. But you mentioned the points, right, Smixy? Can't afford to have a bad game. Biffle's sitting at 80-plus points already. And we're on game number 5. There's 2 more additional games. So for sure, they're going to break that 125-point record that they got last week for first place. They're going to be in like 140, 150. So that has to be your goal if you want to get $10,000 earned today for first.
There's still money on the line, which, you know, feels like obviously a crucial part of a lot of their placements. But remember, there is $20,000 up for grabs. Of course, it's divvied on up between your placements, but still a good chunk of change to play through. Great shots from Noobs on the rotation. Low in the ammo, but going to try to dip around the tree. Not able to do so. Will get caught. Brax gets him twice. You give 2, you take 2. It looks like these 2 will be going at it for the majority of this game.
Yeah, push it, yeah.
All right, at the paintball stadium, what this whole thing is based off of. We're fighting, right? This kind of is poetic. I like it, and we had to have a battle here. I don't think we had one in game, or it should be week 1. Now we got one in week 2, and it is a battlefield. But instead of paintball, we're shooting real bullets, and players are falling. And that stadium, man, is an area you probably want to avoid next time.
And it's a very brief one, I think, we got in week 1. If anything, it was a fly-through. This team's hit the rotation, zone closing behind, but even here, Scummin, who had late-game heroics, I want to say 2 games ago, really keeping his team involved, picking up multiple eliminations, able to pull his team towards a top 3 finish, unable to close it out, looking for that victory royale here in game number 5. 4 games down, 4 to go. And for this team, a big performance is what's needed. Split on the numbers. It looks like he was the only one around for the moment.
It's Gorgo. An aggressive player, a talented player. Good shots. Forced to dip low, though. Smoke has to come out because now that he drops down, that player who he was just fighting against most likely is going to try and beam him from a distance, but he gets away in time. The smokes are used very well, and now he's working his way up to join Unrational and Scummin. And well, maybe I spoke a bit too soon. That team does, in fact, chase him. That was a full-on trio who takes him out, and that was actually Super Evan's crew space. So we have Super Evan, Swagg, who's going to be facing off against Unrational and Scummin very shortly.
Yep, I like that call from Super Evan. Like, confirm the kill. Just get one. And for a trio that has struggled to, let alone make it to the end game, but win the kill department, you need everything you got at this point. So I like that investment.
I low-key might grab my pistol class, no cap.
And it looks like we will be at least getting a UAV, so this should help trio just to get back into play.
I'm not going to zip, but I'm going to fly. You want to zip, Trey, or you want to just...
On me. I'm not touching again.
Leave Super Evan up top. He's going to be kind of isolated. Players are going to be on him and swagging them. They've got to run up as quickly as possible. And again, it's that Scummin roster, right? So this is the guys you don't want to run into as far as I'm concerned. Plus, you have Sean J there. I feel like Sean J consistently finds her and her squad in the mix of 2 very talented trios. And they just kind of get caught in the crossfire because the main storyline, right, was Scummin, as we're seeing Gorgo going against Joewo, who was in pursuit and chasing them, and now you got Sean J here, so things get a little bit messy, but you got the Battle of the Titans all in this one building.
It feels a lot like her trio's getting the treatment that Smixy had last tournament, where, you know, it's just, God, they're just getting caught in these really tough situations between 2 teams. I like this spot from Scummin.
I'm going to try to go hit my loadout.
Won't amount to much. You can hear him saying, we're going to go hit the loadout, try to get more ammo, but more importantly, an opportunity to re-challenge that gunfight. Is Unrational working through the top side and will do all he can to, again, continue to ping out and pick up eliminations.
Nice to see this team, though, doing as well as they have. I don't think they're top 10 at the moment, but we've seen some big games from them, a lot of potential, and some big names as a whole. Good finish. That's one. Scummin will go ahead and back away, smoke out. Precision airstrike coming in, so he's got to dip onto the inside. Unrational onto his perspective on top of the building. And he's going to have that high ground. Potentially a player will be crossing in. Look at how many players are coming back into play. I mean, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, and Irrational has his pick at anybody.
And it feels like the sentries in the sky are much more comfortable in today's tournament because of the lack of the Signal 50, because of the lack of the snipers. And that was, you know, pretty 1 + 1 = 2. We were expecting it, but again, when it comes to fruition, it has been a change that's been noticeable. More teams getting an opportunity to drop down, regroup with their squads, and again, find an opportunity to pick off information that is so useful in the late game. Our position for the moment, Irrational.
He just ran right there.
AR in hand. We'll try to clean up this last kill. Can't do it.
Break shield.
You're behind us up top.
Break shield. Oh, up top, though. He's got to disengage. Try and dive away if he possibly can. Oh, he's going to try and go for the bait and switch, so he gets it, or excuse me, Gorgo is going to drop. Scumman's forced to back away, or should be Irrational is. Smoke's going to be out. He's now in survival mode. That's all he cares about, is just staying up. Now he can join his long-standing duo, though, of Scumman. So Gorgo also is going to be back into play. This has been a long fight space. That's been extended and taking quite a bit of time, and I believe in 15 seconds, respawns are going to end, so this is do or die. I mean, and speaking of which, right, he's down, and with respawns ending, this trio could be out shortly.
And a track will fall too. And Natasha, between kills and pings, lighting up the kill feed. Zepti redeployed, strength for the squad, back to full numbers here. But you hear footsteps above, and I do not believe... I don't think that is them. I don't think that's Natasha.
I think that is. We got Iceman Isaac. Veteran himself. Love watching him play. Got the coolest stream setup, by the way. Even though he drops, gotta shout that out. Literally looks like he's underwater, but... Iceman Isaac down, bleeding out, no self-revive, but does get a ping, and surprisingly, that player, Empathy, doesn't go for the finish. And the reason why he does it is he wants to bait out hit the rest of his teammates to kind of come back for a revive, and it's honestly like a red herring, because it's like, dude, Iceman Isaac's bleeding out. He's like, hey, I've got a guy, I see him right in front of me, I can call out exactly where he's at. Maybe gives a bit too much confidence to his teammates who aggressively and recklessly push in, and that player is obviously waiting right at the doorstep to take you down. So good play coming out from Empathy in his roster just a little bit earlier. Now we're down to 16. Another slow games, which tells me Space teams are getting adjusted to what Vondel Resurgence is.
Yeah, it seems like we're kind of hitting the slowdown of a lot of our games around the 40 or so player mark now, right? Like, we've gone from everybody kind of flying on all cylinders and shooting everything they got into the final zone to, all right, when we've survived the first 2 or 3 zones, we've gotten the eliminations we want, then we're going to take smart gunfights and we're going to slow the pace down to a crawl. So everybody's kind of pulling back and just waiting for one bad mistake, one small misstep from another trio.
That's safe.
And this is where things get really interesting.
What's outdoors? Natasha, very talented player. We've seen her make some really great plays. Her with Inno combined. It's going to be a solid duo for anybody to go against that they run into. Swagg, though, has spotted some competition. This squad does not shy away from an engagement, and Swagg is not going to start now. Oh, but drop. C-Colors has to kind of carry the torch a little bit forward. Super Evan is the guy that is beaming them down. Inno runs into Natasha, or excuse me, Inno and Natasha run into Super Evan. And Natasha, I believe, is still alive. She's probably going to disengage as Inno falls.
I'm going to keep my medic. Okay. You got that timber, Chris. We got to go up. We got to go up.
Feels like one of the first times in forever we've seen this trio in the late game.
True.
My eyes deceive me. 5 eliminations for Super Evan. Can they start to close out the end game push? Man, what a win for this trio would be so crucial. Like, I talk about just a complete flip of script.
Yeah, I think they need it. They need the confidence boost because they didn't have a good week 1. Granted, Swagg wasn't here. They did have Blast in play, and Blast did very, very well. But it just felt like they were consistently running away from fights because they had to, because they just weren't staying alive. I think a player in the back of that van gets wall banged. This is Aydan. This is the first time we have seen Aydan, Adrian, and co. like really have a solid game. They've definitely existed, right? And they consistently do, and we talked about them being middle of the pack. This game, depending on how it turns out, could be the game to put them closer to top 3, maybe even second place.
It was just solo. He's just behind, like by the staircase.
Well, you can hear at least the information that you got one solo. You could peel off and try to take that fight. If you're successful, it's 1 elim. Make it 8. Adrian, the newest addition towards the squad. Aydan, a rated long-standing duo. Tarsha on your screen. Working through the gas. Trying to dip out of pressure. Push control's tough. 2 eliminations. Trying to make it 3. We'll do so.
Oh, there's 2 people here.
Oh,
That's a good drop. That's a great job. Now she's got the high ground. She can still take cover. She gets kitted up. There's going to be more.
There's
we
one
could
more.
be seeing a multiple here. And that was Swagg that she takes down. Super Evan also fell. A team that needed a great game. You set that storyline up, Space, and Natasha just absolutely crushes their dreams. And she does it by herself, riding the edge of zone, gets the finish on the Z colors. That's going to be a full squad wipe, I believe.
Yeah.
And she's top 5.
Yeah, I mean,
Top
there was a smoke that wasn't hers that allowed her to dip out of dodge. It actually worked out in her favor. Natasha trying to avoid the pressure. She is caught in the zone, though. That's going to be the tough thing.
1v3.
I might get it. I might get it. Oh, no, I didn't get it.
1v3 in the moment. Natasha will fall, and Z Smith and Co. will go ahead and pick up a 21 elimination game. But Space, I mean, I'm impressed with Natasha. What a solid ending, picking up the entire trio of Swagg and Co., who needed a great game, and I guess they get 3rd place. That's still a great game from them, but Natasha destroys and dismantles them one by one.
No, that was huge. I mean, like, look, we're looking at the last push, the real first chance it feels like Z Colors and Super Evan have for this trio from 2 weeks in a row, not being able to put it together. Finally, they have a late game push. They got a couple of kills to fall their way, but Natasha is just constantly finding an opportunity to not only the movement, just excellent up top, but the opposite smoke that wasn't hers. She avoids the pressure, dips out, uses the smoke as cover, screens herself